So Matt, Joe, Alice, and myself run this website called Streams Education, and through that we try and to be an encouraging voice and to offer support and help for those who need it. Trying to find where the gaps are, where people, home educators need support and perhaps are not getting it or need a different kind of support. So, welcome. Let me just put in all of you. Okay, put you all there. And let me add Alice there and Joe.
I thought you were just going to pin Matt then, Juliet. I
No,
thought
that would be
that was
very,
quite
very
fun.
scary.
Well, there we go. So yeah,
My
so
face
we
looming over everybody else's.
yeah, so I didn't really get to prepare any slides about the Streams website. But perhaps, I mean, we're an interesting team with different strengths, and we're just plodding along, trying to trying to sort of find where we sort of fit, where our little unique niche is. Isn't that right?
Yeah. I wonder whether we introduce ourselves a little bit for those who
Yes,
don't
yes.
know
Go
us.
ahead, Matt. You
Um,
can start.
so I'm Matt Harris, live in Bristol. I've got a wife and two teenage daughters. We've been home educating in Bristol now for 7 years. And there's a story in that there, but I'll keep it very, very brief so we can hear from the others. But that's kind of like the very brief
Yeah,
background we need to know at the moment. I'll pass
yeah.
over to someone else.
Joe?
Yeah, well, I've been home educating for 8 years, married to Jez, three teenagers, an 18-year-old son and twin girls who are now 15. And yeah, Matt and I are long-standing friends, so sort of jumped and leaped into the home ed journey and sort of together-ish and have interwoven our educational pathways and also connected through streams and have learnt a lot and journeyed with Juliet and Alice and also Sean, who's not with us today, to form streams really with a heart to encourage, equip and connect home educators.
Yeah, and we kind of connected during the pandemic. Um, Leah Bowden, who spoke earlier today, she put Joe in touch with me. There was a lot that I was trying to do for home educators and very much on my own. And so, it was really good to join with these guys and um, bounce some of the ideas off each other. And that's led us down some interesting pathways. So I am the old lady of the group. Um,
Stop it.
The
having
wise
been
guru,
well,
perhaps.
having
Yeah.
been home educating since 1998. But yeah, and then Alice, you're probably second longest, right?
Yeah, I started home educating at the beginning of 2010, which now seems a long time ago because it was before social media and things like that. So it does feel a bit archaic. But anyway, yeah, my boys are now, oh gosh, the eldest is 23, 22, 19, and 13. So still one learning from home, but the older
Yeah,
three have all grown up and moved along now. So,
yeah.
and we're in Coventry.
Joe, perhaps you want to just share some of the vision behind streams.
Yeah, I think as and when I became a new home educator and Matt and I connected and started this journey and talked lots and explored lots, I felt very aware of the fact there was this amazing community out there, but it felt quite disjointed. So I was mindful there were localized groups, but the majority of them were coordinated around Facebook. And I think Facebook has many strengths, but I'm not a big social media person. It's something I don't really use. And when I do, I use it painfully. And I was like, how can we connect if we're not using that as a platform? And how do we link in and support each other and encourage? And so as we were talking, I connected with Leah Bowden because I was like, Leah feels like this woman who's got a bit of traction, who's connecting and talking. And I'd heard her speak at conference, a Wild and Free conference, which again is an amazing community out in the States. And I felt so inspired that we could do something similar here in the UK. So how could we connect? How could we, the heart really to encourage each other? I think I think for me, when I stepped out into home education, it was that immediate sense of freedom, and yet also that panic. I always sort of correlate it or draw an analogy with, like, I imagine jumping out of a plane. You know, you thinking you're in free fall. You're going, oh my goodness, like, it's exhilarating, but it's also that panic and that responsibility. And what if I don't do this? And whenever I met a home educator in Bristol, I would literally jump on them and go, but how do you do this? And how do you do that? And what about the curriculum? And how do you teach maths? And oh my goodness, Bunsen burners is a big question that regularly pops up. And so there was just this part of me which was like going, how do I learn this in a healthy way if I'm not on Facebook? And so it was through Leah, as Juliet said, connected with Juliet, and the three of us, along with Sean at the beginning, we were just saying, well, what would it look like to have localized groups? What would it look like to share stories? For us, that is one of our passions. And when I am rarely on Facebook, I do see people will share these stories, like these testimonies of lives changed, whether through long-term home educating or just stepping out the system. And as we know, with a Facebook feed, these stories would disappear. And I'd be like, but that's a precious story. That's an amazing narrative of a young person's life who's been changed by parents who've been brave enough to do different. And so really, we started with a heart to share those stories, to gather those stories. And I'll be really honest, it's not easy. We see the stories, we jump when we see them, we grab them, we're growing slowly. But I think our long-term vision is what would it look like to have a library of stories? So when a journalist is scrabbling around trying to find a story about a home educator, they would be somewhere. And if, as a home ed's mum starting out, you were going, but how do I do this? There would be a story where you could read someone else's journey. So I think that, combined with slowly connecting with researchers, gathering information. We recently pulled together some mentors. We recognized, particularly at the beginning, there's that kind of crazy start. So we have almost like a shop front of mentors, people who we feel you could trust if you're starting out on the home ed journey. You know, all those questions, you know, what do I do? How do I do it? What do I read? Where do I find resources? Our heart really was to try and bring together some people who could be trusted for the path. And then we run webinars now and again, and very much connecting with the work Juliet does with Learn Free.
Yeah, and we also have a monthly newsletter where we try and really keep the community informed and update on things and encourage people through, link people to good resources. And Matt is the one who's responsible for our social media, and he does a great job.
I try. Yeah.
And I think what I would like to say is that if you want to read some of the stories we've collected, you can go to the website. It's very easy. It's just streams.education. And you can go and read people's home ed stories. We also have a monthly blog. So we try and encourage people through the blog. So there's always something coming up on the website. So you can sign up to the newsletter and receive all the latest information there. I don't know, Matt, is there anything you want to add in there?
Jo, you guys tell such good stories. I don't think you've explained it so well. I think one of the things, well, I remember right at the beginning, and whether anyone else relates to this, kind of when you're at the start of your home education journey, it's that I think one of the quotes that really inspired us was that one from Brené Brown, that braving the wilderness, and standing on the edge of this wilderness, and you've kind of made this decision to do this thing. And all of a sudden you're going, oh my goodness, what now? Where to step? And it's just having that courage to step. And for us, and there's so many people out there doing this sort of thing. So it's really good to be, that thing of, are you going to be okay? You're going to be all right. We want to go with you. And I think that's one of the things around the idea of streams, is that people do find there's no one way that is right for everybody. Some people will choose a certain route, some people choose a different way. They'll step into home education for a while that's relevant and right for them, and then maybe go back to college and things like that, which is kind of something we're experiencing. But the same, all these different streams have their own strengths, and also particularly where we can all these different streams, trying to bring these streams together so that they have agency and power and a voice, and that's one of the things about trying to, that the idea of streams is that everyone brings something different. Everyone's creative, doing things in their own way, but we want to kind of somehow galvanize the different voices, which is fantastic. Things like this today is bringing people together. Maybe and that's probably one of the pluses that's coming out of this the bill, is that people are getting together. People are saying, actually, we do need to get together and work out these things. Yeah, I think it's, as Joe was saying as well, is that we kind of stand on the shoulders of giants, and those people that have gone before us. And I think one of the things that we really wanted as well, and aware of, is that there's so much wisdom and so much well, let's just say wisdom and experience that home educators have had throughout the years. And even though like maybe the modes have changed and slight things, the principles stay the same. And how to, and one of the things that I love is like Joe was mentioning about the mentors and things like that, is actually people can give back into the community. People can give back into our culture, and I think that's a really powerful thing to learn and develop and grow. And that's one of the things that I've loved seeing with this as well, and glad that we're not the only ones out there doing this sort of thing as well. So it's a real again that idea of streams, the different people bringing different gifts and different skills, and yeah. I'll stop talking now, otherwise I'll carry on forever.
Yeah, it's been really good, because it's just trying to do things in a different way. And Alice got involved with us recently, and she and I are working on something that we're hoping to launch soon, which will enable people to connect in a very different way, and be supported. So I am waiting. We should be joined quite soon by Lord Way, Nat Way. So I am going to just get us out of the way, so as soon as he joins, we can get him in, because I forgot to send him the link, but fortunately we have I've sorted that now. So anyway, if anyone wants to come find out more about Streams, you can go and visit our website, streams.education, and also find us on social media.